So we are to continue. Right from where we ended yesterday. So let's launch the PHP My Admin. You just have to launch the USB and then go to PHP My Admin. But like I said, I have connected mine to Workbench, so I'm using Workbench. This is where we ended. Who was able to add to work on this? You've added them. The SNIT number, the NNS. Let's add them. Let me see if I can add multiple image and number. No, it's not allowing. So the table doesn't exist. Okay, it's telling me the table doesn't exist. So who can tell me what is causing it? I'm trying to add this and it's telling me the table, my profile doesn't exist. Let's look at it. What could be the cause? Is it the spelling? Is the default database. So the test is selected. So if you look at the error message, you see test dot my is full. How do I push action message? You see test.my profile doesn't exist, meaning it's searching for the table and the test. So I have to make this one the default. That's all, and then I'll execute it, and it's added. So that's SNIT number, NHIS number. I'll have a digital address, voter ID. I've created that, and then the Ghana card. So I've added these columns. Now let's see it. The table again. My profile. We have those columns added, and we know what null means. That means we don't know the values coming there yet. It doesn't mean it's empty. It could be empty, it could be anything, but we just don't know. So that's it. Let's do this one quickly. Let's add those ones to get something like this. Salam. You've been able to open the my admin PHP. First, you can create the database. You've created that one. So that one, and then we created this table. We created a table called my profile. And then we use it to do some other tests. Or let me quickly go through again. Let me just do it. The tables. The columns. It's voter ID and then Ghana card. So for example, let's create a table. So I'll say create table. Let's say my profile test, and then what are the columns? There is name, right? What is the data type? We are using back, let me say 64. Gender, we are using car 1. Title, we are using back, this is 16, and then date of birth. So let's say date of birth, that one will be date. Salary, that will be decimal, and we know what these numbers are. And the marital start email, let me skip that. Email will be back, let's say 64, and then I think the next is MOA, and the data type is this. You can use car, and then let me see 10. So this is the structure of the table. If you run this, you create the table. But yours should be, of course, test my profile, not my profile test. If I have it already, that's why I'm skipping it. So you just run this to make sure it's created. You are getting error. Successfully. So what we did was to enter some sample data in it. We did that with insert into, then now the table. Now, what are the columns you want to put into? List the columns and then the values you want to put into. Then you list the values also. Then beyond that, we learn how to add column after the table is created, how to delete or like to drop it. That was what we did. Are we done with the 0.5? Can we move on? Yeah. You are done. Numan, how far? You are done. I just said we should do this. Maki, you are done. Are you getting error message or you are not trying? Okay. Let's be fast. SNIT number, NHI, dictator address, voter ID, Ghana card. We are not doing this. Okay. No, then this shouldn't be the columns. Oh, that's fine. You just create. Because we've created, we've deleted some. But you just create this and let's move on. you have to act, how does it look like? Yeah, but it's safe to use the marker. In case it comes at the phone together, but I don't know, you didn't send anything. Yeah, a minute, hold on. I thought it was Martin. Yes. Salam, my phone is out. You didn't ask. What's on there? What's on there? You want to send the power? Also, baby. Hey, call it. Your fellows, that's it. Oh, yes, I think I know. Yes, sir. Look at say fashion and
this one, this center. Use this one. So
Yes. Yeah. I was just giving him the structure of how to create it. There is Salam. Okay. You are done with this. You create this. Please, can we move on? We choose the mobile backer. Choose the backer instead of the number. Yes. We have a long way to go. Let's be fast.
Long way.
I'm looking at the table of contents. Too many things to do. Too many things to do. This part could be. No, I'm not going to do. I'm only at the content. So I'll not go beyond the content. The table of contents. That is who I am. So don't get scared. What's up? Yeah.
You think more than you do.
You do what?
You think more than you do. How can you do that?
Oh, but surely you get it. You get it. I never learned typing anywhere. It's just through this dirty work. Yes, that's all. I never learned. Okay, so I hope you are done with the point 5. So that means we can move on. Now, I added these columns. This one, this one, this one, so that we can explain these things. That's why I added them. Now, let's look at this. No two people are supposed to get the same SNIT number. Right? No two people are supposed to get the same NHI number. Digital address. Maybe there's possibility, but for voter ID too, we know it should be unique. Ghana card should be unique. So now, this is our table. Let's insert one more record. And we want to focus on those ones. The Ghana card, the NHIS number, how was the other one? Voter ID, and then SNIT number. So let's put values into those ones. We are ignoring the other ones. Let's say Ghana card, I'm calling it G what was this one example. Let's see the person NHI's number, let's say something like this. Voter, something like this. And the final one is SNIT, so something like this. So let's insert, okay, I've add one. But you know I can insert this again. Query interrupted. Yeah, I just want to insert this. Completed. So I've add, or let's add the, is it name? Let's add name, and then let's say name will be let's say Kofi Ghana card 1. So Ghana card 1 is this one, is this is, yes. Yeah, we go through. Because I think I even just said it, that we added these ones because I want to explain these things. I just said it. So let's just create it and add the data. So let's say the first person, Kofi, this is his Ghana card, and then let's say Amma has this card. This is his card ID, and then let's see, Ya has this, and then let's see, Usman has this, his card ID is this, and then let's see, Salam has this. So we've gotten some more data into it, and then we can see it with this, my profile. This is it. Because I listed only the new columns and the name, you see these places are null. So these are the new ones I added for Kofi, Amma. Let's select only those columns and see what we really want to do. So instead of the star, I'm now listing the columns I need. So Ghana card, NH, IS, voter. Let's say name, or the name should come first, so that we can match it against them. We have name, voter card, and then what was the last one? SNET. So I just want to see these 4 columns. So this is the data we've pushed into the database, and we can see Usman and Salam, they have the same Ghana card number. They have the same NHIS number, the same voter ID, the same SNIT number. This is haram. It shouldn't happen. Come again. Yes, that shouldn't also happen. By Ghana law, you are only supposed to have one Ghana card, one voter, one. Yeah, so it's a crime. It's haram. So these ones has to be unique. There should only be one occurrence of it in your system. Are we okay? Now everything we've been doing is 2 ways. One, you can look at it. I've created a table. I want to modify it, or I'm now creating the table. Are you okay? If the table exists already before this condition came that this should be unique, then you are going to do alter. Are you okay? So, but if it's a new table, when creating it, you just add it. Something like if I create table test, and I know like Ghana card, which is, let's say, VAC 10, it should be unique. Then I'll just add unique here. Are you okay with that? That the time I'm creating the table, I know Ghana card should be unique. Then when creating the table, when you write the name of the column, the data type, then you bring the unique, the word unique. That is when you are creating the table. But in our case, the table is created already, and we are told to make it unique. In that case, we are going to use alter. So in that case, I'll come here, I'll say alter table. I will have to, I think the word is modify. Modify column. What is the name of the column? Ghana card. Right? It's like I'm creating it again, something like, let's say it will be 16. Then I'll say, or it has to be constrained. Let me see, I think add constraint. A name. Instead of foreign key, it will now be unique. The name of the table, my profile. So, and then unique, and then Ghana card. This should work. Uniqueness is a constraint. That's why I wrote modify. I was like, no, modify will not work. Foreign key is a constraint. Unique is a constraint. There's another one called index, which is also a constraint. So once you know these are constraints, you know if you want to add it, you not use the word modify. You have to use constraint, add constraint. So these are the two scenarios we can have. One, we are now creating the table, and we know this column should be unique. In that case, when you do this, then you add this word to it. But if you have the table already, and you want to make that column unique, then this is the way to go. Are you okay? So definitely it shouldn't work for a reason. Query interrupted. Now let's see. Okay, this makes sense. We know what the FF is. This constraint I'm building, I want to give it a name. So later, if I want to drop that constraint, I want to take it off, I can use that name to take it off. Right? So yesterday we created one that had the name FF. I think that was a foreign key. We call it FF. So it's telling us FF exists already. So these are not the best names you should use. You can build a convention. Maybe this is how I'll be calling my constraint names. So this is unique. So maybe I can start it with unique. And then what are the two tables involved? Or like what do I want to, let's say Ghana card. So this is a name I'm going to call this constraint. So next time if I want to delete this constraint, I'll use this one, I'll drop this. But if you don't bring it, the system will generate in some nyama things. You will have to go to the database to look for it. This is how it call it. So I still don't expect it to work. Yes, we want to make a column. For this one will work. This one will work. No, this is what I want to create. Yes, this one worked, but this will not work. And this is the message. If you try it, I think it makes sense. Do you understand the message? But can you see the message? What does it say? This one, this error message. These are in rows. So always the last one will be the last activity we did. So, and this is why it's telling us. Yes. Yes. I'm not inserting data. I'm not coming to put that condition there that my table don't accept 2 Ghana cards that are the same. I'm not coming to say it. So it's telling me there are already 2 people in it who have the same card. You get it? I want to tell the table, don't accept, like, don't give 2 people the same Ghana card. And it's telling me there are 2 people in it, or like there are 2 or multiple people in it with that card, with that same number already. You know, it's trying to apply that law and say, no, someone has already violated that law, so it will not apply it. It wants to have a clean data before it will apply that law. So let's change one of them, right, so that we can apply our law. So let's look at the data. Where is this one of our select? We want to see the data again and change. Alternatively, we can delete one of them, or we can modify one of them, whichever way will work. So select from, I think, my profile. Which one should I do? So which one was it? I think this is it. So we can modify this to something else, this to something else, so that it will be unique, and we are supposed to delete, modify any of these, like all of these except one, for them to be different. And if you want to modify something, then that one you will say update, and then the table name, then you bring my profile, then you say set. So what column do you want to update? Ghana card. What do you want to update it to? Let's say I want to update it to 10. Come again. Come again. No. You know, when we key in this data, that condition wasn't there. That was how the table allowed it. Now we are trying to bring that condition, and it's telling us there is duplicate already. So that condition didn't apply. That rule we want to set that don't allow, it didn't work. So now if we try to enter the same, it will still work because the rule didn't work. We have to do some cleanup. So like going for certification, they will say no, fix this first before you come for the certification. Are you okay? So we've not created it yet, it didn't work. So update Ghana card to 10. Who would try something like this on his machine? Try it and let's see. You didn't get data in it. Who was able to enter? It worked. Hey, you are dead. Select and see. You see, you updated the salary phrase. So you gave it a different value, and it worked. You exactly like, so let's say salary, right? This is what you did. This is something like this, or in a string. Okay, salary the. How was the data type when you were creating the table? So decimal or like numbers, you don't put it in string. Yes. The 19 means, let's say something like or the one here. This one. The 19 means that column can accept 19 numbers. 19 numbers, the column, and out of that 19, 9 will be decimal. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It can accept a figure as big as this, or this can all be 999. That will be the maximum. But out of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This part will be decimal. And so this will be the maximum your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the maximum figure your. And so beyond here will be up to 9 zeros. How many records do you have in your table? That's why you are not crying. Okay. And you run it. How many records do you have? 2. You will not cry much. I need someone with many records. The update is not working. Yeah, what error is it giving?
So when you do that, you set the Ghana.
Yeah. Now let's see it here. I want to update this Ghana card. They are telling us there is duplicate, so we are changing, let's say, sum to something like this. I wanted someone to say there is problem with this code. We want to set the Ghana card to, let's say, 10. Anyway, 10 is fine. The data type is string, that's why I'm putting it in the code. Now let's see. I've query interrupted. So it didn't even allow me. And this is what it's saying. You are using on save mode and you try to update. Now let's try the same update in a different database management system, and you understand why MySQL has this message. Okay, you have one record. You said you have 2 records, and it worked. Yeah, let me execute it straight in the PHP my admin, the local hosts. No, not functions. PHP my admin. So the password is USEW, and I'm going to this, and I'm going to, let's see the records we have. From where do I execute it? Is this one they go? So these are the records, and we want to change is it the Ghana card? Yeah, the Ghana card, we want to change it to 10. So if I write this, the editor. So if I say update my profile, then set Ghana card score to 10, and this is what you did, and it worked, and you are still happy. 19, yes, it worked. So let's run a select statement and see. We want to see what we have done. Okay, the table doesn't contain a unique body. Where is the Ghana card? You see what has happened? Or you've not been able to interpret it. This is what. Yes, it will update everything in your record. It's like it told you maybe 2 or 3 are the same, and in attempt to modify one of them, now you've changed even everything in your database to the same. Are you okay? These are some of the stupid things we can be doing. So that is why the ID didn't allow you, because it realized you don't know what you are doing. So it's protecting you. Serious, like it wants you to specify the row you want to update. This one we didn't specify any row, so it would update everything. If it's 1 million records, every record will now be the same for that particular column. So they expect you to have this. Where? Are you okay? The IDU expects you to have where. So you have to specify which particular record do you want to change. So other database management system will allow you, but MySQL for this ID is requesting you to bring where, so that you specify. I want where that record has a name of, let's say, Kofi, or I want where that record has a name of Amma, or where that record has a name of whatever you want to. In that case, you are not updating every information in yours. So we are going to update where name is, let's say, Kofi. So this is what we have to do. Unfortunately now my data is spoiled. So I have to either I update them one by one, or I'm now choosing to clear everything. So I'm clearing everything, and this is how I'll do it. Delete from my profile. Now let's see something. You see, I'm getting the same name and the same message. I'm deleting. I also didn't specify where. Right? It's telling me I'm trying to delete everything in my table. But this time around, I want to do it. So I'll take the advantage of the, how do you call it? The online editor, which is not checking that. This one is not checking my stupidity, so I can use it, and then I'll just delete it, and it should work. Go. Why are you not going? Delete my profile. Okay, at least this one has one. So everything is gone. My table is now, but if I'm using the ID, it will not allow you. The same way it expected where condition here, it will also expect where condition here. It's forcing you to bring where. It's just a measure, precautionary measure is putting in place so that you don't mistakenly delete everything in your table. But other database management system will allow, they will not mind. I once deleted a table and I started running instantly. No, attending nature, like my stomach. It's not joke. The consequences. I was to delete one row, I forgot to bring the where. You see? No, instead of deleting somebody, I deleted everybody. You see? Yes. Instantly, I had to attend nature. I want to washroom. So this is very dangerous. That is why the ID has gotten to gone far to put that feature in it. You can start it off, but you can just leave it so that at the extreme cases it will take care of those things for you. It's very dangerous if we delete, if you mistakenly delete something you are not supposed to. So what I'm going to do is to get to, and then let's say Kofi. Okay, so I also have two records as Newman have. I realized he didn't suffer, so I have to. So now we can apply a update to just change one of the Ghana card to 20, and now we have a condition. We want to apply it to Kofi, or we want to apply it to Salam. So if I come here, I'll say update my profile, and then set Ghana card score to 10, where name is Kofi. So I hope this will work. Query interrupted. Let's see the error message. Which one was it trying to? Yeah, I expected it, but the message I'm getting is now by the 10. that I'm using that same very interrupted. Okay, got it. Let's look at something. This is the message. When I try running this is the message is telling me. Who understands it? Good morning. Okay, no problem. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Okay. 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 That's fine. That's fine. Okay. You're welcome. Yeah, the message. Who understands it?
You want to update something on the table, but you're not specifying the individual code where you want to do the
So, if you look at this, what do I need to add?
So you need to add a column
This is the column.
in the keyword form.
Okay, okay, okay. And we have to struggle. Where do we add it? That is a good try. Yes, who else can? You see? Who else understands this message? Or who can give a try? Yeah, that's the error code 1175. that you try to update a table without a where that uses a key column. No, it's not a unique column. We now want to struggle and make it a unique column. And we have some duplicates in it. And because there are duplicates, it's not allowing us to make it unique. So we wanted to change one of the values to something else so that later we can apply our unique.
That the thing will really exist in the table.
If you look at the massive, that is what I was saying. It's just a measure. If you are trying to do something that could harm your data.
Does that mean you are not running on
No. You just don't want to. There is a way you can disable it, right? But consistent practice will tell you that people were even praying for something like this, and it finally came. A typical example was when I was to update, and I changed everything to 10 mistakenly. So it will tell you by force, bring a where, and now it's telling another 10. It's like it's giving us some guidelines we have to follow.
You don't want to disable the environment. So where like coffee is,
then it's not that to use
where coffee is.
to reference a column now. You should use the key column instead of the name. But there can be another copy in the table.
Yes, that is what it's telling us, that our table should have a column that is unique. And if you want to delete something from that table, in your where clause, use that column. You get it? When we're creating the name, we didn't indicate anything like the only name will be unique. There has to be that indication. That's what we are trying to do. So it's trying to kind of tell us, no, you've been fooled already. We've done the mistakes already, and it's not allowing us. And this key is talking about, that is what is called the primary key. Are we okay? So every table you create, there should be a column that will identify that table. Like each record in that table. Are we okay with that? Every table you create, there should be a column in it that will be unique. That's when you are creating the table. We created ours without anything like that, and we are suffering. You get it? We created it without anything like that. We are suffering. So once you start, make sure your table has such a column, something in it that will identify each record. If it's not like a profile where you can have Ghana card, which is unique, or you can have NSS, which is unique, then you will have to introduce one yourself.
I thought you have already set a unique feature in this table that you are working. That is like a Ghana card.
No.
So I thought you have already done that. You are able to see that yes, you need the unique, the number there where that is.
If you are done, this will have worked. That is what we now want to do. So he's telling us some of the mistakes that we've done during our table creation. So if you are to create a table, the data you are given, if it's whatever it is, if it's about school, if it's about what, any table you will create, you need to get a column that will identify that table. If the data you have, there is nothing like that, you should introduce one. Are we okay? So what I will do is, I'll delete the records again. Yes, now there are only 2 in it. So I'll delete them, and then we'll make one a key. Our profile, we have to get that key, which is primary key. So let's delete it. Of course, the delete will not allow, but you realize if you do it here, it allows. So we are going there, and then you will say delete from my profile. Yes, I want to. So everything is gone. And then when we select, you should see nothing from my profile. So it's now empty. So let's try and make one of the columns the primary key. And if you say primary key, that is what will be will give uniqueness to every row. That will identify that row. No two people should have that. So now, which of these columns can we use for that? Like the voter ID, Ghana card, this. Which one should we tag as our primary key? The uniqueness that we know will be unique. Okay, someone says Ghana card, voter ID, Senate number, NHIS. Please, are we following? Any of these ones we can use to say this is what we are going to use to identify each row. We can use this, we can use this, we can use this, we can use this. So now we need one. Which one should we pick? Voter ID. Let's vote by hand. Voter ID, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So voter ID is 9. And we want to use one of these columns to make them unique, like not unique per se, to identify that table. Something called primary key. Okay, Ghana card by hand. 1, 2. NHIS. NHIS. 0. Senate. How many Senates? Senate 2 is 0. So that means we are going to use voter ID.
Voter ID. That means the person must be 18. Else the person cannot have
So someone is arguing that only people above 18 or 18 have voter ID. So that means your system is not targeting people.
What did you say about Ghana card?
Ghana card, you don't have it.
Yeah, but I think when this phase ends, then they will start with those below.
At the bank, they don't accept
Come again. We should do what? We should create let's say we should create our own. Now, let's see. Someone is saying then we should create our own. So how many suggest we create our own? Let's vote. Like, we are no more using Ghana card, we are no more using voter, we are no more using this. We are not going to create our own IDs. No, we are not giving card to anybody. Like, we want to use something in the table that will identify everybody. NHIS. And NHIS got 2 votes. Yeah, but unfortunately, now the majority rules. So that's what we have to use. Right? So now let's make the voter ID. That's what has the majority. So we say alter table, the database. If you look at the detail in it, it's just to capture someone's profile. And I made mention, this is a constraint we are going to put on the table. So what should come to your mind is add constraint. I'm going to call it primary key. Or let's say in full primary key. Or like, let me call it this way, P key. And it's primary key, and we are going to use voter ID. This is how the code will be. We now want to make voter ID as what we are going to use to identify everybody in the system, in this table. Please, are you okay? So let's run this. Executed. You see?
Somebody just give it a unique idea. The country, is it county series? That's going to, I think we have to add that the brown.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking my Canada.
Yeah, add it. Please, let's add the primary key now.
And this constraint, you did not bring the data type.
No, you bring data type when you are creating. This one is constraint I'm adding. All the constraint, the previous one I didn't bring the data type.
So what will happen to that aspect of data type?
You know, constraint has nothing to do with data type. I'm only saying this column I've created. This column, this is what I'm going to use to identify everybody in the table. That is just what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with the structure, how they design it. I'm done with creating the table. I'm done with creating the column. The data, I've stated that already. And I'm saying now, if I want to search for people, this is the key thing I want to use. This is what I want to use to identify everybody. Like if it's a school, they will say your student number. If let's say it's a country, they will say like whichever thing you want to use. So by voting, this is what we settle on, that we are going to use this one to identify anybody. Are you okay with that? So let's add it, please. Hello. Hello. I'm fine. I'm fine. Hey, Mike. Okay. Next week. I think next 2 weeks also. Hey, next week I'm not sure we get class. I think no shake. I go barely so. Are they class? Are they do some? Okay. Yes, I was thinking of. No, I didn't think they proposed a guide for me. No, you just delete the content so that you can apply this alter. No, if they duplicate the information. There are so many ways you can copy paste it. Is it many? You've not read there. So far. You can, there is a way you can put it in you can take that table and then put it in it and then bring it back. But you've not read there yet, so you just now let's understand this quickly. Where were we? This is what we have settled on, right? So this one, these ones in your table, they are called candidate keys. This makes sense. They are candidates, but they didn't win. And it took me 4 years to understand this. You know, they all competed to be the primary key. Are you okay? These 4, they all qualify to be primary key. But for one or two reason of the designer or the developer, he chose one over the other. So the one you chose now is called the primary key. Those you didn't have favor with, they will be called candidate keys. That is all. And it took me 4 years to understand this. 2008, 2009, 2010, 8, so 9, 10, 11, somewhere 12. When I bought this book, that was what I was reading somewhere, and the guy says, and I said, why did they skip me for? Yes, they are all technically, they have all the features to be primary key, but you, the developer, just decide which one you choose. So the rest are candidate keys.
What is the difference between adding a column to your table and adding a key?
If you say constraint is a rule, that is the difference. You know what a column is. So if you are adding column, you know what you are doing. But if you are adding constraint, you are adding a condition, a rule. That is the difference. So what we have done, we are not creating any column. We are not adding any column. We are only saying this column we have already, we want to use it as a primary key. So that one is a constraint. We want to use it as a foreign key. It's a constraint. We want this column to be unique. It's a constraint. We are not bringing in new table. We are not column. We are not deleting any column. It's like a rule we are bringing. If in your mind you know this is a rule, a condition you are bringing, you use the word add constraint. If you want to add column, you say add column. Like alter table, the table exists already, so you say alter table, add column. But if that's bringing a new column, there is a new column you want to modify. In that case, you call the table, which is alter table, and then alter column. No, like modify column. So alter table, modify column. Then you can bring the new features you want to add to that column. So if you say constraint, normally it's part of like business rules. What is the institution saying? So the institution is saying no two people should have the same IDs, voter ID. That is a condition. So like business rule, what the institution is saying. The institution can say nobody should have a salary less than 100. This is a business rule. And that one you might not apply with these keys, but there are different ways of applying those. Please, are we done with making the voter ID the primary key? Now the thing is, if you make a column primary key, two things happen automatically. One, that is what is identifying, let's say, everybody. And behind the scenes, for it to be able to do that, it makes it unique automatically. So if you make a column a primary key, automatically you make it unique. Are you okay? Now, because you can't do the same to these ones, those that didn't win, the unlucky ones, let's get them here. Or you go away, you cheaters. So the three remaining, you make them unique. Are you okay? There were 4 competing. You chose one, you made it primary key. The fact that you say it's a primary key, automatically it has become unique. The remaining, you will have to state these guys are unique. You know, that one too, you need one occurrence. No two people should have the same. That's why they qualify as primary key. So that is it. So in that case, all the remaining, we are going to make them unique. And in the same code, you write author, table, my profile, add constraint. I'm going to begin it with unique. This is snake, and then the word will now be unique, and then I'll have snake number. This is it. This is making the column this unique. But that uniqueness, that business rule I'm bringing, how do I want to call it so that later I can make reference to it? I want to call it this. So that is it. So this will make snake unique. You want to also make NHIS unique. So let me see, here will be NHIS. So that will also make this one very interrupted. No, what's the word correct spelling? I think it's NHIS number. That's what we use. So that one too. And then what other one? I don't know if two people can have it. I think that is, but these ones are decisions. If you think in your system, no two people should have it, then that means that one too also qualify for, to be a candidate for primary key. It just delete from my profile. But with this ID, it didn't allow, but the PHP my admin allowed. That is. Okay.
So trying to do this one, saying that the primary key has already been defined.
Okay, then that is it.
But the problem was all of them. I made all of them.
You made all of them primary key. Okay. But I think you can.
So I was trying to I've already done this one. I've been trying to, I was pressing.
No, I think yours will be easier if you go to the designer. Where is it? Let's see the structure.
Is this inside? With the exception of simple yes.
Okay, so deleting the table or the column or
This one was also the key.
what gender? No,
I press that one is done.
The structure. I was expecting edit somewhere.
If we have
but if you switch it to unique, that will take away the. But it's like you've moved it to this place to unique. We want to take them out. That's not what we want to do. Distinct values. Struggle with your team. Please, are we done with the uniqueness? Yeah. Now let's also take note of this. Let's take note of this. The one you will select as primary key, that one cannot be null. It cannot have a null value. But other database will allow you to have null value for the other unique ones. If you don't know the information, they're fine. But if it's coming, it should be unique. But the one you will pick as primary key, that cannot have null. You can't say I don't know what is coming. That is what you want to use to identify the individual column. So that is also one difference you have with the one you will finally pick as primary key, and the remaining that will still remain as candidate keys. The candidate keys can have null values, but the one you pick as primary key, that one will not accept null values.
So it means whenever you are inserting
the one you set as primary key, yeah, that cannot be null. But other database management system will allow you to put null for the unique, those you said unique. For primary key, will not allow. No, we are going to enter it. For example, if I said voter ID should be unique, and that should be my primary key, so I will have to enter the voter IDs. I will be entering them. Now let's see this also. This final one. You know, the option to create your own. Right? We needed unique columns to identify each person. So we had these ones in the database, including which one have we taken out? Voter. So, and then we settle on voter. There are cases your data, you not have any of these things that you think can easily identify the person. So what do you do in such situation? Yes. Please, are you on track? there are cases data data you'll be working with. You will not have anything you can just look and say, this one there, the nation has made it unique for me already. So let me just say it's a primary key. The data you will be working with will not have anything like that. So in that case, what do? You create your own, right? So in that case, you create your own column, call it whatever name you want, and then make sure that one is a primary key. But in that case, you don't have to force and create other columns to make them unique. What matters is that one column that will identify everybody in the table. And not just that, even when you have things like this, there are situations that will warrant you to still create your own and use, and not use the existing ones, maybe depending on what you want to do with it. And one thing too, when you are picking a primary key, you look for columns that have less external factors, or like less external influence, that someone can just see somewhere and say, this one we don't need it again. You get it? Or this one someone can sit somewhere and say, the digits are 10, now I'm changing it to 15 digits, the IDs. These are considerations you have to make. If you feel that there is too much external influence on, though it's unique, but there's too much external influence of it, then you can also drop it. Because if not, it's something that when a policy is taken, it will affect your database. You will have to come back and change it. For example, you have we are using voter. Now you are using voter and you said the maximum is 6. And then the next day, Charlotte will say, we'll wake up and then tell you, no, let's make it 10. In that case, you will have to come back and then rechange your database. So these are a few things you take. Though it's there straight away, you can use it for primary key. You have to take these considerations. These primary keys, this what. The whole thing is, if you have a table, this table, I have information in it, right, of everybody in the class here, and I want to see only yours, right? I have this one with some data in it. I think one of this one was the employees. This is Microsoft, their sample data. Now let's look at something. Let's say I have this, right? I have this information. I want to find, let's assume these are records of people in class here. Let's say if I want to find you, let's say this is select all is bringing everyone. I want to just find let's say Francis. So I'll say where last name is Francis. I've gotten Francis, right? If I say I want to have where, let's say I want to find Joyce. Okay, Joyce. So I can say where last name is, or like where first name, where first name is Joyce. I've gotten Joyce. You get it? Now let's see something. if I come here, where is that table? Employees. If I come here to edit this data, and then I make this one to Sewa Joyce, and I make two people can have the same name. You get it? So let me even confuse you more. I'll make it 3. Sewa Joyce. So do I have to execute? Now let's come back. This is giving everything. Now I need Joyce, right? So if I run this, so which of the Joyce am I talking of now? It has employee ID to identify them. So instead of using the name, I'll say 3, where employee ID is equal to 3. So I've now gotten the salesperson, this one that I want, right? This if we want this. We've gotten this. That is the row of primary key. You get it? Yes. Here the employee ID is the primary key.
Sometimes, for security reasons, we know that like in displaying some data to users, they would like to know your employee, let me say, the data for an employee, and then that data is unique employee ID. You have to show it. So if being able to use employee ID to get Sewa Joy, that means we'll be able to use employee ID to modify the data of Sewa Joy. So why don't we create a particular message which will not be displayed to the user?
Yes, you will have to make that administrative decision. You get it? How valuable is that number? What are the possible things someone can do with that number? You get it? For example, if I'm to display data, there will be there's a bank account. Do I have to expose the bank account? You using it as a primary key doesn't mean you will have to expose it. And if there is the need to expose, then you decide. When people see these numbers, what can they do with it? And if you think it's that risky, you don't have to expose voter ID, then in that case, you behind the scenes you might have something, or behind the scenes you can still use the voter ID but create another column as expose IDs for them, so that you not show the primary, the voter ID. So that one entirely is administrative. What value you exposing that one will you lose? So that is it. For example, there's no like access to data they will give to you, let's say online, and you see people's bank account in it, maybe birth, date of birth, and those things. But behind the scenes, those things are there, but they are not exposing. So that one depends on you, like what the institution is saying, how valuable that column is to them, whether they want to expose it or not. All the candidates' keys should be unique. Yes, that's why they can all be primary keys at any time. They are potential primary keys, but they were not lucky during the voting. You get it? Like I have 4 columns in the table, and I want to get one that I can be using to identify each person, like how we are using employee number. But I have more than one option, plenty. I have 4. I did voting and I settled on 1. So the remaining are still the column they qualify as primary key, but they were not lucky. Then they becomes, we are just calling them candidate keys. So all the 4, they are all unique columns. They all should have unique informations in them. You just decide to choose one. Come again. Yes, there are situations you can create your own. It depends on the data you are working with. There are other tables. For example, the country we created. You realize we created a primary key. It didn't have, so we created it and made it like 2 digits as a code. So that depends on you. Other table, add constraints. Let's see the data in your table. Are you not going to lose this? Which one did you want to use? You were using Ghana card or? So let's see the data in column. Very good. Yes, you're seeing these ones as that. As the same. So you can edit and make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will work for this, but if you want to make this 1, 2, 3, say, or like, yeah, primary key, yeah, it has to be, make it 1, 2, 3. That one doesn't accept now, but the unique ones can accept now. Please, can we move on? Now let's see another constraint. For example, you are capturing information, right? There is a column called name, like we have in the profile. It shouldn't be, we can't say it should be unique, but we like whoever is filling information for that particular place, you have to put something there. Are we okay? That particular place, you have to put something there, which in HTML5 let's say required. This field is required. So in database level, if you want to say required, you will say not now. You get it? So when if like you are creating the table for the first time, you will see let's say create table X. Let's see column is let's say name is varchar, then I'll say not now. You get it? That is all.
So that means this the crease.
Come again?
The crease is that syntax here.
No, I missed the caps. So but it's not case sensitive.
That means that name cannot be left blank.
Yes. So we've seen primary key, we've seen foreign key, we've seen unique, we've seen not null. These are constraints. You are not creating table. You've created them already. You are not creating columns. You've created the columns already, but you want to put some measures on it. So this is another one. So this is when you are creating the table. And then if you have the table already, alter table, my profile. This is called table definition. So my profile, modify column. Let's say name. Let's say Vaka 64. Not now. Yeah, it's supposed to work this way. This one is the table definition we are modifying, so it will go this way. It's executed. So in that case, when you are entering data, you can't skip that place. So let's do that one to the name. The passport, the voter and others, those ones cannot be. If you make it unique, there are possibilities it can accept now. So if you just don't want now to, then you have to apply this condition to it again. But the primary key there, that one cannot accept now. If you say it's primary key, automatically it will not accept now. And automatically it's unique once you say it's this. So that's it. Can we move on, please? Now, the other thing we want to look at, these are constraints, so you can read around and any possible more ones. Once you get the pattern, you'll be able to apply them. Let's see something. I think that I made a bit of mention of it. For example, we have name, right? In our column, we have mobile number, and then we have email. We have these columns. Now, let's say it's a system we are building. Is there a possibility we want to have people's surname? Is there a possibility we want to know their last names? Is there a possibility, like we want to have that different parts of their names? Is there that possibility? If there is that possibility, then you don't write like name. You split it when you are creating the table. And from, if I say personal experience, never do something like this. It will come back to haunt you. The one telling you to build a system, he might not even need, like, realize later I'll come back and say something, and that will require me to get the person's first name. So right from scratch, don't create a column like this, name. In your table, whether the person tells you, oh, separate them, or I just need the full name. If you are designing form, don't create that like name, split it, and then get your data. You can join them to give the person the full name he's requesting for. The possibility of somebody coming back that requires a split is very high. So right from beginning, you don't create it this way. So let's take this column out of our table and bring the split ones. Are we okay? So we are going to alter the table. That is my profile, and I can drop column name. We are taking it out, and this is the code we are to use. Alter table, and then drop column. We are taking the name out. We don't want the name in full. because the possibility of someone coming back or you doing something and you just need just one portion of the name is high. Yes, then we are going to split it into first name, last name and other name, or like first name, surname and other name. So let's use surname instead of the last name. We are full first name, surname, other names.
So this time we are adding
3 columns, yes. We are dropping the name column and we are adding 3 different columns. That will achieve the same thing. And it's the last name, let's use, instead of last name, let's use surname. So that we have consistency. Yeah, we are following UK, so it makes sense. UK will say surname, US will say it depends. First name you can't say you should accept null. So first name will be not null, and then last name, but other name can be. But definitely whoever you are, you should have a father. So first name and last name there we should have, or the first name and the surname. But the middle ones there you can't make it compulsory. So
the advantages and disadvantages of setting this one not happening.
it depends on the data you are working with. If you allow null to be like name to accept null, then what are you doing? You are capturing people here. Like for here, you have attendance sheet. Write your details. There is a column name. There is a column telephone number. There is a column age. And if someone will come, he will not write name. Do you need such a data? And that is what we are implementing here. So if you don't need such a thing, then your table, the name, you don't allow it. And of course, like the other names, you can't go and put constraint like other name and then you say not null. That means everybody should have other name, which is also not right. And so it's I don't know how to convert this to like advantage and disadvantage, but you know like where you have to use it and then where you shouldn't use it. I've been able to drop the name.
Yeah.
And why didn't mine work? Yeah, I'm struggling. Is it the same code as mine? Alter table, my profile, and then drop column name. What is happening? Somebody should slack me. Is it? You didn't drop. Okay.
Okay, slack system.
Somebody should slack me. Why is not working? I couldn't say.
What did I do? She was hearing it like
You should have given it to me. I missed that.
At the first one, yeah, I do someone is
No, I said Slack. My code is not working, so whatever you have, put it on Slack for me. Okay, so these guys were here, they were causing it. When I commented them, it worked. So then we are going to, yes, alter table, my profile, add column. We need first name, and it will be varchar, let me say 32, not null, right? And then can I do it multiple? Surname varchar, down to 32, not null. It's not allowing multiple, so let me just run this. So it's created, and then this one will be surname. It's created, and then I'll have other name or names. So this one, I'm not going to make it this way, so I'm taking that one out. So now let's see the table structure we have set off from my profile. It should end here. So those ones are here. Now we don't have the name, and then the first name, surnames, and other things are there. I think my school have something like this. Let me see. Is it or like other add excuses after. Let's see something. Let's see something. You see the columns I'm adding, they are going to the last end of the table as you add. There's nothing wrong with that. When you want to display it in the report, you can rearrange the way you want. But if you do it this way also, if you want to specify where you want that column to fix, right? Let's say I want to create any column at all, but I want that column to come. Let's say I'm creating a column called deduction, but I want it to come after salary, right? So this is just what I'm adding after salary. So in that case, if you execute the deduction will come after where is salary? After salary, you can see there is deduction. But if you don't state after, then that means that will be the last column in your table. Yeah, there is before also. Hey, before didn't work.
There is even
that's what you want to imagine.
You see?
we do within the page of my hand. There is a short group you can just
Yes.
Drag it or yeah, you can drag it too. Yeah.
Now that we've created it,
Yeah, let's see alter table. It's like I'm redefining the structure. So alter table, my profile, that will be modified. So modify column, and then I'll have let's say surname, and that will be varchar. Let's say 32, and then I'll have not null. and then after we should come after before gender or no, the before it didn't work. Of course, I can put it after gender, then I'll put gender after it. That will work. But I thought there should be a single word that can do it. But I can do after gender. Then I'll apply the same thing to gender. So gender will also come after. Come again. Yeah. So I think that will work it out. So my profile, and I'll have surname here, gender here, and it goes that way. Now, let's see, yeah. Now, let's also take title out. You know, title also have the same challenge as country. The possibility that somebody can type, instead of Mr., the person can type Mr. Or maybe it's even different spelling. So that tells us to also take country out, title out, and make it another table. How we took away country. So you take title out and bring titles ID back into this one, the table. So let's take title out, create it as a table, and then we bring it back to the profile. So outer table, my profile, and then it drop column title. That's all. So we're now going to create title as a table, right? So we'll have create table title, and the name of the title, and then that will be varchar. Assalamu alaikum. Aliyu. That's fine. Thanks. Okay. No, I heard. Okay. No more. The things they are trying to sort out also. Maybe will be a follow up. May mom could be a follow up or that is true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay, thanks. So this is what we are doing, and then title is a maximum 16. Now the not null, right? Title should not be null. It should be unique, right? It makes sense. This is how you can just be adding the constraints when you are creating the table. And then from the challenge we had when we were trying to delete something without a primary key, so that should tell us that from hence, like every table you create automatically should have a primary key. Every table you create, you should have a primary key. Add a column, that column you'll be able to identify each row in the table. So I'm going to add an ID, or like whatever you want to call it. I'll say ID, and then this ID is just to fulfill that rule, right? I really don't need for example, I can make it varchar. This is what I'm struggling. If I make it varchar, then that means you will have to be entering the IDs. Let's say you say gender ID is 1, or like let's say 3. Let's see it. Let's say I've created this table, right? If I want to insert data, I'll say insert into title. The title is name, and then ID, and then the values. The values, let's say the first one is Mr. Let's say the ID is 1, or like the ID is A, whichever you want to use. Let's say ID is 1, we could have make it integer. So just for this purpose, query completed. Then like miss, the ID is 2. This should have been an integer. So and then the ID is 2. Then we have let's say miss, the ID is 3, and then we have, is it? Yeah. I've not executed it. I'm only saying if you are creating it, make it integer. So we have let's say doc, and then that will be this. So if you want to see this content, let's say title, this is what we have, right? But this is what we are interested in. So we can tell the system to be entering this for us, right? This is what we are interested in, seeing this one. So the system should enter these ones for us. So what we are going to do is, let's drop the table. So alter table, drop alter table, my profile, title, and then drop table, title. It should work straight away this way. So the table is gone. So in that case here, integer, and you tell the system you'll be adding the 1 2 3 for me. Then you say this is what will control it, auto increment, and that will be my primary key, right? Or the primary key can come first, or even the primary key can come here first, primary key, and then auto increment. And once you say primary key, that color automatically will not accept now, and it will be unique. So if I execute this and I come back here, in that case the system will enter this for me, and I will only have to concentrate on this. Let's say Mr. and then Miss, and then Miss, and then let's see doctor, and then you can see you will have the same thing here. The 1 2 3 is added for us automatically. That is, we want it to be numbers and to be that incremental. So in that case you do it this way. So how we did with the country, we don't want people to type, we want them to be able to select. So that's why we push this one out, creating this as a table. Then we are now coming to do the linking back to where we took it from. We took it from the my profile table. So we are going to add it to that. So alter table my profile, add column. The column we want to add is the ID, this one. So I will have add column ID, then it's integer. ID is int, and I think it's referencing title. Which title? The ID there. This is how we are going to add it back to. We are doing two things at a go. We are adding it and creating the link direct. If it was just adding, we could have done this. Then we could have gone to use alter table, add constraint to do it. So we are bringing it back to the table, and then you run this, and then that's it. So if you select your table again, you should see from in my profile. So now what is title ID? Oh, just ID. Did this one run? Duplicate. And where is it? Okay, is there? I think is the screen resolution. That is why that one is showing. So it's somewhere at the corner here, where this one is. After the last name is there, because if you select it, it shows. So that is. That one too, if you come here is foreign key, is primary key, that same key, primary key, that same key, when it's in no man's land, it's called a foreign key. So that's the difference. If you create a table, you make a primary key. If you use it to link to another table, then in that table, your ID is now called a foreign key. So the same table and the same column, when it's in the parent, it's called primary key. That same primary key you set. When you put it in another table, then it's called foreign key. And this is how you build the relationship between the tables. And that is what makes it a relational database. So you use the so that I will not have doctor in that same table. You get it? Yeah, that's one. If no, not like one person should be doctor. But I want now the title to pop up so they will select from it. Is that options I don't want to see two titles in, like two doctors in it. But 100 doctors can come and they all select the doctor. But I don't want the options they will see two doctors in it. And we created this table because we don't want in the profile people will be typing their titles. We want them to be able to select. That's why we created it as a table. And then we will link it back to this. I think initially country was there the same way. Then we took country out, created a table, gave it an ID, and then we brought the ID back to do the linking. Like I think there was profession there also, which we don't want people to type their profession. We want them to be able to select as option. So we could take it to database and then we bring it up for them. So those are like that will be the guiding rules if you have to take something out. And we didn't take gender out because it's only 2. So in your HTML you can just do that pop-up there. You don't have to push it to database. But if you take like country where you have like 200 countries, you want to put it in your HTML. If a country name changes, you have to go back to your code HTML again. If like you've done spelling mistake, that is you have to go and review your code. You can be doing these things in the database. It's flexible that way. The one you said is the primary key. Yeah, that is what you're going to use to link in another table. Yes. I have this table. My primary key is A. I want to link that table to another table. So that primary key A is what will go. You just add it to that second table and then you create the relationship. And that leads us to the next topic. Different types of relationship we can have. You can have divorce, or like semi-married, or which other one? Unapproved, or like or the leafy version. We are mentioning different types of relationship. Leafy. Come again. So that would be the next. Or like types of relationship. Types of relationship. We've known what relationship is. It's just a link. For example, I have a table. It contains my country, my profession, my certificates, my everything. Right? Everything. That reminds me something. Okay, I think that will come at the end. I just hope I'll be able to remember it again. Come again. This, I created this table with a column called name, another column called ID. This is the primary key of this table. And I want to link it to profile. So if you stand in the profile, you can know like anyone's title. To build a relation, the link between profile and title. This one you write. If you see, I've done 2 things here, like I said. I've added the column and I've created a relationship. So this adds the column, and this is the word telling you are linking them. Now, which table are you linking it to? I'm linking it to title table. And which column do you want to build a relationship on? I want to build it on the ID column. So that ID will come in a bracket. But what is here will be the name of the table. So if I want to build a relationship with a country, then here will be country. Then what column do I want to build a relationship on, and then let's say I'll say maybe country ID. So that is all, like country code. So that is it there. So now this is what is happening. Let's see this. Today this thing is showing. Edit. Yesterday I did it wasn't showing. So I can just click edit, and then right here I'll be entering them. So let's say your gender is male. I don't know what this is from. No, let's take profession out. Let's take profession out. In the table there's profession. Let's take it out, create it as a table, and then link it back. Like you've just done to title. Your title didn't work. What message are you getting? But have you created a title table? You have to create the table first. To link two tables, the tables must exist. Both tables must exist. So now we want to have a profession table and link it with profile. So profession must exist. So let's create table called profession. And then we link it back to profile. And tables like that upright. To which one? This is what I use to insert data. So these guys can go away. Which ID are you using? The PH1 admin. But if once you run, if it's spelling mistake, I think it will give you something to that effect. You just run and see. It works. Yeah. The color change is just a feature of the ID you are using. So. No, it's the ID that gives them different color. And you can even change the color. I can say I want my reserve word to be blue or to be red. Yeah, whichever ID you are using, that feature is at the options. If you go to its options, you can change. Like this one, we're putting in quotes. It's green. You can change it. You can say I want my string to appear brown, or this one is just to see. And this is where we are going next. Relationships. Complex one, simple one. I will make you. Can we move on? You are done with the profession. Muna darling. Are you on track? You create as a table. You delete the column profession, then you create a profession table that will have a name, app, a name and ID, basic name and yeah, that's like title. Yes, to the profile. Which one do you want to see? No, I inserted menu. Straight away, just something like this. Create, or let's drop that one first. So, alter table, my profile, drop column, profession. That's what I want to do. So, completed, is gone. So I want to create another table. So profession, and then I will have ID int, primary key, auto increment, and then it will have a name. Depending on what you want to do, it can have other columns, but what we are interested in is just this one. Let's say 64. That's all. I've created a table. It's complete. So I'm going to add that column to the profile, and there are two ways. I'll add and create relationship. You can do it at a go, or you can do it separate. If you want to do it at a go, is yes. You drop it. I bring it and let me see. And you're all getting the same message. So who is copying the other? Auto table, my profile, and hey, what are we even doing? Add column. I want to add column. Saying which one is running?
Which one is running? This one?
Yes, if you click on this, it's trying to run everything here. You get it? If you click, if you run this, let's see something here. This is, you know, I've been like we've been doing it piece, right? When you click execute, the execution will start from top here, trying to update, run this. It will try this. It will try this. It will try this. It will try this. Doing everything to the last, right? But for my ID, you can separate them by semicolon. And if I click this one, if I click here, and instead of the run that will start from top, I can click this run with the one attached to it. That means I'm only telling it to write where the cursor is, to execute where the cursor is. So if I do this and I press this, it's only running the code that has the cursor. But if your ID doesn't have that feature and just click run, it will try to start from top here. So you have a code there for creating title. So anytime you press go, it's trying to create a table again. So in your case, either you comment those you do until you get to the last one. So as you do, then you comment them. Now because of my ID, I can be going without commenting. So let's see this part that we are, then we have to comment all this part. If not, it will always be running. Have I created this table? I'm foreseeing a challenge. Who has created the profession table? It's created already. Now, when building the relationship, because it will tell you the column exists already. Create author table, my profile, add, this will be ID. By this time, it will be references, profession, and then ID. So it's not able to tell the truth, but I think the reason is the table has this already. Add column, data type. So this will be int. Supposed to give an error. Yes, query interrupted. You see, duplicate column because the title also came with a column ID. So in that case, I think you can rename. Okay, so I can see here will be profession ID, right? Then it is referencing the profession table. Which ID in the profession table? The ID. Are you okay with this? Right, we wanted to use that same word here. It didn't allow us because that ID exists already. So in that case, in the profession table, we are creating with a different name, where we are linking to profession with the actual ID name. But I don't encourage this. Yes. When your tables become more, you get confused. Right? So the best way is to create this one, and then during the creation, you make it like profession ID in your parent table, so that you can use that same profession ID. So whichever title, if create table you are creating, don't just be using ID, like title ID, profession ID, country ID, department ID, things like that. And don't be using ID. The relationship will work, but you will see it somewhere and you will not realize which one is building the relationship with which. But when you use that consistency, it helps.
So what about like leaving the ins blank every day?
Blank like,
You said profession ID.
okay.
Ins, then the ins you get without leaving the length.
I've never given an int a length here.
Int is not something you do, just a different.
All what I've been doing since yesterday, I've never done something like int, then I'll put, let's say, 2 here or 11 here. No, I've never done something like this.
Why?
Hey, yesterday I explained it. Someone asked this question yesterday and I explained it. Yes, if you Google, int has its range. So if you use int this way, it picks the default one. This code should run. Okay, so now let's see something. Let's enter we need to enter data into the profession. Let's enter data into profession. So insert into profession, and we are already set in the name. The system will add the IDs for us automatically. So name, insert into profession, values, let's say accountant, query interrupted, insert into profession. This is the name of the column. So if I stop it here and I run this, only that part will run. Administrator, and then manager, IT manager, sales, how is personnel spelled? So I've gotten sample data in profession. So I have this. So this is what you now output into whichever form that the user would have to select. So let's insert data into the My Profile. Insert into my profile, and let's see the columns. So we want to insert data into my profile, and these are the columns. The first one is surname, we have gender, we don't need a C, date, birth, salary, deduction, marital status, email, mobile, country code, and then SNIT number, NHIS number, we have digital address, and then digital address, voter ID, Ghana card, first name, other name, Now I don't even know which ID is this. And then we have this profession ID. You see, even right from here, I'm getting confused. But I can guess is title ID. This one is title ID. You see?
The title was title.
Yeah, it's for title. And the one for profession. You see? Which one? Ghana card. Okay. Yeah, Ghana here. So these are the columns. So we now go to values and then we start entering. The first one is surname. So let's see, we are going to use let's say we use Nadia. The second one is gender, female. The third one is date of birth. So let's say 2010 11. Then we have salary deduction. So salary is, let's say, 3,000. Deduction is, let's say, 59. Then marital status. Let's take out marital status also.
Marital status.
There is
where you added the profession ID.
okay.
Friends, profession ID.
But when reference, here you said author table add column profession ID. The first add column profession ID, that one is user and you provide that info.
Yes.
Then you reference it to
The table I have. And that table, which ID? You see, here I wanted to use ID, which is in the profession. When I was creating the profession table, use. So I'm compelled to use another name. It's like I'm just adding a column to my profile. How do I want to call it? That depends on me. But once you create it, you are now linking it to a table. The important thing you have to note is that column, regardless of the name, should have the same data type as what you are going to link it to. For that, you have to do it that way. But the name you will use is up to you.
When you use the list only, you have to specify whether the column is information inside my WhatsApp. I want to create or if I use the
You want to clear everything. Yes. If you bring where, that means there is a portion you want to delete. So if you want to delete everything, you don't bring the where. So these are the columns. Now, let's take marital status out. Let's take marital status out. Create it as a table and then link it back. So before I continue on, I'm going to create table marital status, and when I'm coming to do the connection, then I'll drop it there. So it will have, let me see, I'm calling it marital ID. It will be int, it will be primary key, it will be auto increment, and then it will have a name which will be VARCHAR marital status, let's say 32. That's fine. So what I think 16 will do. So that's it. Executed. I've created this.
We are again dropping the marital status name.
Yes. So if I come to alter table, my profile, yes, drop column, and then this one, marital status. So I'm going to delete this. Query interrupted. Execute this. Edit table doesn't exist. My profile. Okay, so I'm now coming to add it. So I can say add column, and I can use this. Is it references, right? And data type, it will be it. So references is referencing this table. And which column in that table is it referencing? It's referencing this same one. So let me just terminate this. So that's it. I've taken the marital status out, and I've added it to this. So let me add some data into it. Insert into marital status the name, and then we have let's say married, divorced, single, searching, Facebook has complicated. So we've gotten a sample of the marital status. Let's see them from this, and then divorce. So we can continue with this. Well, with marital status. So now I want to give Nadia a marital status. Which one should I give you?
Married.
Married.
Yes.
So now we are not typing the word married again, right? This is what we want to take out, so that users will not be typing and be making mistake. So we have taken it out, and then we bring the IDs. So that ID will populate. So in that case, instead of writing it that she's married, so the ID will be 1. Instead of the word married, that people can make mistake. Now the ID will be 1. But on your form, you are not going to look at your database and be picking the 1. You display it and you'll be picking the corresponding IDs directly. The flexibility you get with the IDs is if you are searching, it's faster searching with ID than string. If you say where, if the column is ID, it's faster than this. And imagine even if you are also to type it, I'll see where marital status equals to single. It's easier to say where marital status is 1 than to say to write the full single. So that is so after marital status, email. Where are we? So email, Then after email, we have is it? Then we have mobile and then country code. So we have mobile is 0234 00000, and then country code, let's see, Ghana or like GH. It doesn't matter, capital or small. And then country 2 is a link. You have a country 2 when we are linking it here. Then SNIT number, NHSIS, digital address, voter. So we have let's say SNIT 1, that is the SNIT number, NHIS 1, and then digital address, that is DA, what, and then voter, Ghana card. So we have vote 1, Ghana 1. Then we have first name, other name. So we have I think this should be the Nadia, and this should be like and then let's see the other name. There is no other name, so you put empty string there. This ID is for title, and here too we are not going to type Mr. or Doctor. We are going to use their IDs. So let's see title. So now there, which title will you pick? Definitely this. Yes, so the ID is 2. So in that case, ID is 2. And then finally, profession. So which profession are you going to take? Ajay, which profession will you take? Should I give you a manager? Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, can it be a profession? I don't think entrepreneur is a profession. That really? Accountant can be an entrepreneur. Accountant is a profession, but entrepreneur. So we are done. This is how we are going to insert it. So when we get to the PHP form, these ones will be replaced by the forms we are designing. Are you okay? But this is the code you write to do the insert. You write this, you list all the columns you want to put data in it. Then instead of hard coding these values, you will now be picking the values the user entered into the form, into this place. Then you do the with the right it's called connection string. Then you insert, then it will come to the database. So let's pray and then execute this. Doesn't look like it will work, but let's see. I said it. This one makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Column count doesn't match value count. So let's see. Okay, I think have I typed Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What is this guy saying?
I had the same, and it was like,
and this needs to get common. So okay, query interrupted. What is the error? Okay, unknown column, marital status. It won't be marital status again. We've taken it out, and now you have a marital ID. So that's it. Interrupted again. Don't worry. Cannot add or update a child role. Good. This is one of the things I'm interested in. Let's see the error message here. Error code. That cannot add or update a child role. A foreign key constraint field with and so many stories, but it's telling you there's a problem with the country code. And who can guess what it is? It's saying there's a problem with country code. Is it? The country. Yeah, we have a table for country. We have this table, name and then country code. So what could be causing it? We put in and then we are giving this. That will have tell us like some data type problem, the message. I should change this to, let's say 1 or so. Query interrupted, and I don't expect the message to change. Yeah, it's the same message. Now, okay. The country code. No, I think when we're creating it, we make it car 2 so that we can use like GH, NG, things like that. So it's not auto. Yes, we use car characters. The card is a type. If you look at this, you should give a clue. This is the country table. Yes.
The country code or the country table, we don't have the primary key there. And we are referencing it.
I think there is a primary key. If there's no primary key, we can't build relationship with it.
But when you like put it, the country or code is like we have the name of the country code.
the message showing indicates there is a foreign key, there is a primary key, there is a foreign key. We've created a relationship correct. That is what it is trying to enforce. That's why it's denying us. Right? This indicates we've set a relationship. The relationship is perfect. So it's trying to work now. Exactly. The message we are getting is telling us, you, this guy, you are bringing, I think it's here, right? GH. But where from GH? That is just all it's trying to tell us. Where from GH? That means we need to have the GH somewhere. There is nothing here. So the country code in the profile, anything, if you build a relationship, anything that is going there should exist already. Are you okay? Once you build a relationship between two tables in the foreign land, if you want to give it any data, that data should exist already. Are we okay? That is just what this message is, and is the rule we set, and that's how that rule works. So, for example, if you take the profession, we use an ID of 3, right? It exists already. If you go back to profile and you are trying to use an ID of 6, it will not work, because the ID of 6 doesn't exist in the profession table, so it will not allow it. So to solve that, we have to put some data into this, into country, and then we are looking at country code and I think name, and then we want to put values in it. The code is GH, and that represents Ghana. So we can it's rand. Let's say let's add more NG, and then that will be Nigeria, and then let's say UK, and then that will be United Kingdom. So now we have this. So in our profile table, we can use any of these codes, but any code that doesn't exist in the parent table, you can't use that code when you are referencing it. And if you take the word they use, child what, it really makes perfect sense. For example, in your house you find a child that doesn't have a parent, right? But it has to link to, like, a parent should exist, or like maybe a guardian or something like that. And so it's that data, if you allow it, like that data would be like, it's like an orphan data, like it's there, but it doesn't have anything to link it up. So that is one thing you get when you build relationships. It gives you that consistency that any data coming into this table, that data exists already. So like title, we've not make provision for let's say professor in full writings, or like whatever other title exists. Reverend, we've not make room for reverend, so you can't go to my profile and type reverend. If you want to have reverend, you have to come back to the title table, add that reverend data, and then in that case it will now be showing in your option that the user can select. So let's try to run it again and hope we get more errors. So it executed successfully. No, I didn't want so. I thought we could get more. So let's see the data now. So this is the data we have now. Now, voter ID. Instead of profession manager, we are not seeing manager, we are seeing trade. So this is how it will be looking in your table until we get to a point where we want to see it, and we'll see how to go around it also. So let's add one more so that we can use to explain where we have to, the point I said we've reached. So this one we just change few things, and then let's see Abdul, and then here will be male. I'm leaving everything, and then here, okay, let's see what it will tell us. You see, it's telling us if this data goes in, two people will have the same voter ID. So it's telling us to change it. So this will be 2. Where is voter? Voter will be 2. Let's say 2. NSI. Yeah. I'm just changing them because if I run, it will skip to that error again. So I'm just clearing them all together. Now, before we execute this, let's put uniqueness on telephone number and then email. Let's do it right now. Let's make these 2 unique. If not, when we push it will go, and 2 people will be having the same email, 2 people will be having the same telephone number. So let's just push that one there, and then alter table, my profile, add constraint. I'm calling it unique mobile, and then unique, and then into it I'll have a mobile. That's it. So I've made this, and then I'll have unique email, and then here will be email, and then if I execute, so I've put in that business rule on it, or like that condition on it. So if I try to run this, that thing will come. You see, you can have duplicate, so that will force you to change this thing, and the same thing will come again. You can have the same unique with email. So in that case, you have to change this one to Abdul. Now the data is gone. So now let's see something that I talk about. If you look at this data, if you take let's say profession, you see they are all managers, right? But if you come to the manager table, the profession table, it only exists once, right? But in the profile table, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 0 people can have it. So it exists in this table once, but in profile many people can have it. So it's called one-to-many relationship. Are we okay? It's called one-to-many relationship, and that is the dominant one in relational database. So title and profession is one-to-many relationship, because in the title table we only have one doctor there, but in the profile table a lot of people can have the doctor there. So one-to-many relationship. Another one is one-to-one. Sometimes you have to force yourself to get such a scenario. Yes. For example, you have your profile, then you create another table for telephone, right? So everybody in that telephone, you should have just one telephone. Maybe there are conditions you can use 2 telephone numbers, so just one. In that case, everyone in the profile table has only one item in there. Like, let's say, country, president, right? So you create a table for country, create another table for president. But every country has one president. In that case, just merge it. Then there will be a column for president. Yeah, you have the country, then there will be another column for president. Instead of you creating another table that doesn't exist. So one-to-one exists, but it's hardly. And there is they call many-to-many, and how do I even get a typical example? Like student and course or student and lecture. Yes, many students will be assigned to one lecture, but that lecture too can be assigned to different students. Or like student and course, you can be doing different courses, but different students can also be doing that same course. Those things you have to struggle and get them. But the real ones that really work with, because even if you have a case of the many-to-many, there are ways you have to split them. You have problems. So the most one that works is the one-to-many. I'm thinking of a typical good example. I don't know how to use it, but that is it. So those are the 3 things we have to take note of: many-to-many. The relationship type, there are 3 types, but the most ones you'll be working with, whatever you'll be doing, you'll be trying to achieve the one-to-many. That is why you'll be using your database. So that is it for relationship. Now let's see something. All what we have done, the code we have written so far, you can see some pattern in it. The codes we are writing, some of them we are using them to create the structure of the database or the table, and some of them we are using it to work on the data in the table. If you look at all these the codes down, you can break them into 2. Some of the code you are using it to create a structure, and some of them you are using it to affect the data in it. Like you are deleting data, you are adding data, you are updating data. But you are creating tables, you are creating columns, you are creating constraints. That has nothing to do with the data in it. Are you okay? So if you look at this split, those you are using to create the structure of your database, they are called data definition languages. Are we okay? The code we've written here, if you look at them, you can group them into 2. The codes we use to create a table, to create a structure of the database, or which someone will say, let's say the schema. The code we use to create the schema, create table, create index, create primary key, the relationships we are building. It has nothing to do with the data, the actual data in it. That's not what we are modifying. So such type of codes is called data definition code, like the data definition language. And like delete data, update data, select data, that has nothing to do with the structure of the database. It has to do with the data in it that you are manipulating. Then that one is called data manipulation language. So the SQL code can be grouped into data definition languages, and then data manipulation languages. Are you okay? Like for like school, for example, like objectives, you can meet these things a lot. They write select, delete, create. Which one is data definition? Or which one is data manipulation? Or let's say one select B. So this one, which one is it? Which one is? This one is which one? Okay, who will support? DDL. Okay, who will support? The whole thing is, all the codes you are writing, you can split it into two. You can group them. There are some of the reserved words you are using that they only create the structure of your database so that you can put information in it. But some of them has to do with you manipulating the information, not the structure. So those that has to do with manipulation, they are called data manipulation. Those that has to do with creating the structure of your database are called data definition. So the select is DDL. Okay. Delete is. And what about create?
Defend yourself. I'm talking about my own. My own is choose the choose and defend yourself. Say the create. You are defining a particular data. Say you creating a particular table. Like numbering, you are defining new data.
Okay.
And then the data, like something like this. You are now manipulating the data that you have created. And then the select is also part of the manipulating the person also manipulating the data.
Yes. How will you counter him?
The DML, like you already have the data it has already been set, and you are dismissing it. You don't need any more, you are taking it off. Not like you add something to it.
Which one? The create is DDL. What makes it DDL? Okay. So what about the delete? What about select? Okay. So select the data already exists and you are manipulating. So it will be data manipulation. Delete. Oh no, don't do that. The delete, you have the data already. It doesn't have to do with the structure. If you say delete, you are not deleting the table, right? It's the information in it that you are working with. So all queries relating to the information in the structure is data manipulation. So this one too, you are now bringing it in. You have, yeah. So what about drop? Drop is DML.
No, this one you are dropping the structure.
Yes, you are manipulating the structure.
So that the definition, I want to say in beliefs, you are creating only the data, not the whole table. But again, dropping the whole table, then you get this definition. No. Because once you drop that table, any data that comes from it will be affected.
Yes, if you drop a table, you affect the structure.
Yes.
No, you are not manipulating. That code is affecting the structure of the database. Not the data in it. Like the data is gone all right, but the structure is affected.
If I wanted to say like you have a particular structure, which includes the column, and then you drop the column, you don't know manipulate.
No, you affect the structure. The data, the delete has worked.
Imagine
if you affect the
you are blending it to another table. Once you drop it, that structure of that table is going to be affected.
So code that affect the structure, not the content. You know, all we are doing, we create a table, we build the links and other things. So code that affect the structure is called data definition. And codes that manipulates the data, that manipulate can be delete, or it can be add, or it can be update, but it doesn't have to do with the structure itself. Like the number of columns in that table you are removing, or you are adding a table, or you are dropping a table. Those ones affect the structure, or what is properly called the schema of your database. So if it affects the schema of your database, that one becomes data definition. And when it affects the content, the data itself in your table, then that one becomes data manipulation. Are we okay with that? That's fine. So where does this fall? Nadia, where does it fall? Is it? DML. Why DML? You nearly had it and you switched more. Yeah, author, you're actually changing, but not the data. Right? If you say author, it could be a column or a table. It's the structure you are going to make changes to. Either you want to remove a column, or you want to it's affecting the structure or the schema of your database. Yes, it's DDL. It has to do with definition. There is a third one. Is it? I think data something. But that has to do with access, like grant privilege to this person. Let's see. You hardly if you are not like a server admin, you don't face those things a lot. Like you creating a user who can see this table, who can insert data in it. That giving that access, that too, they have their category DDL, DML, and I think that DCL, and they are even giving me TCL for create, drop, alter, rename, translate. So yeah, grant, like who can see a table or revoke. You are taking out someone's. I want to get the full spelling of these ones. So where is that one? Control. The C is control. And it makes sense. Data control. So who can see what data, who can edit it, who can controlling data, then that becomes the DCL. But mostly these are the two things that you will see in data, the definition and then the data manipulation. So that is it also for this. We've done almost yeah, we still have a long way to go. Is it? It's past 12. So break time, eh? Okay, let's go for break. Yeah. So I was thinking of maybe somewhere 1, then we close. Because it didn't come 8. Okay, then like 15 minutes. Let's try 15 minutes.
And that one for prayers and
15 minutes. We are just stretching. 15 minutes. Yeah, we'll close early. Maybe like 1, then we close. I think we have joins. Now let me clear this one before we go. You splitting name, right? To first name, last name. You taking out title to another place. These things you are doing is called normalization. These things we have been doing, that is what is called normalization. So it's just to help you remove waste data. Like how we look at it. Female, someone can just type F, someone can type a female in full. So all these things we have been doing, that is what is called normalization. And they group them depending on what you are doing. First normal, second normal, third normal, and then the boys code was something. But the whole concept is you are structuring your data in such a way that there wouldn't be too much duplicates in it. And then there wouldn't be those spelling mistakes, there wouldn't be orphan data and things like that. That is just what we are doing. So we can't go through all, but I think we have to look at joins. For example, my profile table we have now, it doesn't have the word manager. It's 3. But that's not what you want to use for reporting. If you want to give report to someone, it's not a 3 you want the person to see. You want the person to see the actual word. So that is where these joins come in. So that is it. And then we also look at some few other things. Let's stretch and come. Hey, hello to. Okay, I think we can conclude on the join when we come back. You see? No, let's 15 minutes. Let's try 15 minutes.
What's his name?